Welcome to the Dragon's Tome. My name's Jack. I'm back
In black.
reluctantly. I'm here with my pals, my cohorts, my boon companions, Rob and Chopper. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
I'm Chopper.
You already did it. Jack re-signed. He had got a signing bonus, but he signed back up for another 100 episodes.
Yeah,
So
we won't
we'll
talk
see how it
about
goes.
there was. Oh, we avoided the strike.
Yeah, it was a
The
hard negotiations.
We
We had
were
to get
close.
we had to get a mediator in, and it wasn't.
the
mean,
truth is,
I really thought we were gonna have to use a scrub to come in and fill in for
Yeah.
Jack, but
He kept
when
he was outside of my house with the placard, and it was kind of disturbing, frankly.
yeah,
I was picketing for a long time, but now I do. I don't know what a go-gurt is, but it's in there. I got a rider, so
We had to
I was
separate his
coming up
go-gurts
roses.
by color. So
yes,
So
the pinks and the blues.
what we do here on this here video would be we read the Dragon magazine, the famous Dragon magazine, and chronological order, and we do a little talky over the various things that we find interesting. This is episode 101, and look at that cover. Still only $3. It is a wonderful example of Dragon magazine in its cover prime.
Yes, 100%.
this is a new guy too. It's David Martin.
I was just gonna say, I don't think we've seen a David Martin cover yet.
No, I think it said they have actually a little blurb about the covers now, and I think it said it's his first cover.
I will say that this is a very, very awesome looking succubus or harpy.
Harpy.
It's probably a harpy.
It's a harpy.
The Queen of the Harpies.
I don't see a crown, but maybe.
Oh,
He's got more of a crown. He's got like feather in his hair. Is it
I
from
would
her
say
butt feather?
Maybe is he the new Arcana barbarian?
Maybe they're trying to hype up the barbs.
possibly getting their barbs in.
He's
Okay, yeah.
everybody's got nice tone.
He does. They do. Look, it's like they've seen some sun. They've been outside, a little swarthy.
There's just a lot of detail in the foreground, everything that needs to be detailed, and as you go back farther it gets a bit more. It's like they've
Yeah.
Mr. Martin was able to do like a foreshortening thing or a
Hey,
I will say that
focus.
everyone is spectacularly proportioned. Like the arms look the right length, the legs look like the right length.
yeah. It's a correct picture for once. No, they've been good lately, but this one's
There's
good
been some
for
but
no name.
Every once in a while, we'll get those offshoot kind of proportions.
For a no name artist, like not one of the TSR artists, this is damn good.
Yeah, I
It's
love
like
it.
modern art almost. Almost looks computer generated.
Good stuff.
I wonder if it's a
Okay.
painting.
I
So
guarantee it's a painting.
it's customary to move on to the articles. Who wants to go first and give us a rundown on what you enjoyed?
I'd like to go first
Okay.
because
What
it's a big
page?
one. We're all going to talk about this one, so it's going to be on page 10, I think.
I think I might have bypassed this knowing that one of you two was going to do it.
It's all
I
about.
didn't take it either.
I
So.
read it.
Really?
But I didn't pick it because I knew one of you two was going to do this.
This is an update from the chief, all about past, present, and a bit of the future from Gygax. And it just goes through kind of the what do they call it? What do the president call it? The address.
State of the Union?
Oh,
State of the Union.
yeah.
They're still trying to make a D&D movie. Obviously, we know that never happens until a lot later in this. Unearthed Arcana sold out, and they're printing more. But I remember as a kid, Unearthed Arcana was hard to come by, and I think they didn't make as many as the other stuff. I'm pretty sure.
No, they didn't. He also does mention Oriental Adventures as being the next book.
It's coming out, and then new modules for it too next year. So they're really supporting the Oriental Adventures.
Yeah, this is. I think he also announced when they combined all the T's to make the Temple Elemental Evil 1 mega module.
They didn't combine the T's. The only Temple of Elemental Evil that ever came out separately was T1, and then this is the next one.
Yeah,
because he never finished it. Eventually, he had to get Menser to finish it based on his notes. So he was just, you know, busy doing Blow in the out west that he didn't finish Temple of Elemental Evil. So finally, Menser did it, and 1 to 4 is all in one book now. So they call it a mega adventure, mega module now. So that's, anyways.
But by this time, Gary Gygax had moved away from the nitty gritty writing and stuff, and had been really working hard on the multimedia aspect of being the face of the company. So
I think the next couple issues we have, supposedly he's doing everything, but yeah, he's definitely focused more on the movies and stuff like that. But he did say he had to return to TSR, so Ernie and John Beebe had to finish the rest of the Below. I mean, 3rd season of D&D cartoon, and he said he hopes for a 4th season, and if you look back at history, there is no 4th season of the D&D cartoon. There's only 3 seasons.
Yep.
So. And I wonder what's happening very soon. That's There's no more going to be no more of a lot of things that Gygax was involved in.
Well, once they wrote in that Venger got a total party kill on the kids, it was kind of, where can you go from there?
Yeah, for sure. What's his name? Yeah. Is that the evil guy?
Yeah, Avenger.
I remember what he looked like. I didn't know his name. He said there's more Greyhawk adventure novels coming soon. I remember a couple of those.
I do remember. I got a bunch of those actually downstairs, and I still remember finally reading those books. They were actually very good, decent books.
Oh yeah, he's like, I know the Gord the Bard books were pretty good too. But he's also making a modern day adventure RPG that's taking up a lot of his time, he says. And I have no idea what this is. I researched it, that he never did ever make a modern adventure RPG, so whatever it was is either a lie or he just scrapped it eventually. 1 of the 2. But once again, pretty soon his world gets done flipped upside down. So
yeah, it's getting close. What year? Where are we at? What year are we in?
We're
still in 84, right?
September 85 currently. No spoilers, but it's I can tell you exact date of when he gets kicked out, but I know next month there's some more stuff. So in October we'll talk about it more, I think. So. Yeah. Also, he said the Satanic Panic is still in full swing because he says a lot of people. He says there's been unscrupulous and attacks and baseless accusations against them. And and he gives out an address where you can get info to fight against, I guess, pamphlets and stuff to.
Yeah, well, this is around the time now when it gets a little all crazy. Not just D&D. This is when music starts getting labeling.
Yeah.
So it's just all around chaos.
But I think it's not general public at this point. I think we're getting into more of just the crazy religious people because obviously there's a D&D cartoon on TV. They would never allow that if it was the average person thinking that's satanic. I think it's by this point, it's most people are like, okay, it's not satanic, but there's always a few craze. And I think that's about it. But it's good to hear from Gygax.
Yep, right from the horse's mouth.
It's a lot of interesting information. I like when he does these kind of things, but as I say, maybe not too many more.
Okay, Pat. What do you say you do yours? I know you thought it was hilarious to be unplugging Rob's mic the last few episodes. So now you better bring the heat. You got a lot of making up to do.
Well, I just felt like he was just taking a little too much liberties with his singing.
I just wanted people to lean in to listen. I want them
when he knows that that's our gig.
Right.
All right, so let's move ahead and let's hit 2 pages up to page 12.
12, which would
that's down.
Be down.
Don't confuse me. I went up.
We're gonna go to the left to page 12.
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't you know how PDFs work?
And we're now talking all about the Kender.
I remember this picture. It's a pretty famous picture.
This is pretty much the beginning of Dragonlance coming into D&D now.
Yeah, full steam.
Before the box set. So this is a little article. Dragonlance Mania is, I think, in full swing. The first 2 books are out. The 3rd book is coming out soon.
Yes.
So Roger E. Moore here, our good friend, longtime listener, Roger E. Moore.
Is he still alive? I don't even think.
I'm sure he does. I mean, if not, then they play us. The nursing home plays us.
The joke is he's James Bond, not that he's old.
It's true. James Bond is timeless. So the Kinder are given a class part of the box set, the Dragonlance World box set. That gives you all the rules for all the other things. It comes with a nice little history and PC stats and limits. Basically, just says these Kinders can only be thieves and acrobats.
No.
They can be fighters, but I think they max them out at like 5th level.
I didn't think there was clerics in. They could be clerics too. I didn't think there was clerics in Dragonlance, or are they just very limited?
They're very limited, but they're also deemed as heretics. Then I think, because remember there were no more gods.
I never read any Dragonlance novels in my life.
Really?
Yeah.
Not one. Not even during the whole Dragonlance mania.
Nope. Never. I skipped it for some reason. I had friends who loved it, but I never read
it.
All
right, so to give you just a heads up, then there are no really a lot of clerics in.
Yeah, I knew the basics
because there were no gods, and River Moon was the first one to have clerical powers, and then they branded her as a heretic. Yeah, but as a side note, it's this class, the Kinder class, that made me leave Dragonlance.
And this was what I liked.
So annoying.
This was my character was a Kinder. It was
everyone wanted to be the Kinder from the book.
Well, they're new. Yeah. Well, that's true of anything in the books.
But
yeah.
It was the perfect, like, hey, I want to play a thief, but how many times are you going to play a hobbit? And then how do you explain why there's a hobbit out and about?
Mm-hmm.
Kinder, the backstory is it's baked right in. Why are you adventuring? Because they're curious. They just
there is a caveat here where that because they're such kleptomaniacs, they could have stolen whatever kind of amulet or magic item and in their curiosity activated and sent them to another dimension. So that was a way to bring Kinder into other D&D worlds if you didn't want to play in the Dragonlance campaign.
What's the difference really between them and halflings? Are they that different?
Yeah, I mean halflings were more hobbit based, like home, eat, food, blah blah blah. These Kinders are
so it's just it's more sociological, not so much physical, because
physical. They're roughly the same.
They're like short elves. That's what Kinder are.
They're taller than most halflings, but they're shorter than elves.
Yeah, you take an elf and you take a halfling and you just make them kiss.
Yeah,
but they have what they call a wanderlust, which is like the Rumspringer.
Nice.
They literally are born adventurers. So it was.
Oh, and they also have no fear. They have like no amygdala. So that's a medical term. So they basically they don't have any fear of anything. So they'll just do stupid things because they don't understand the consequences of their actions.
Childlike wonder.
Yeah. So
they are pretty much children.
Essentially.
So if you're attracted to a Kinder, you're a pedophile. Is that what you're trying to say?
Again, which is what the whole idea. Well, I think it's all right, but for me, that the way I don't know, it's like playing a chaotic neutral character, which also bothers me in my game. But that's just me, That's not to say you shouldn't play Kinders. Yeah, exactly. I mean, everyone's game is their own game, kind of a thing. So
I feel like the poor people, the adults in this picture, where they're just trying to herd cats.
Wrangle, yeah.
I mean, I will say that the character that the main character in Dragonlance books takes this thing to a whole nother level. You get frustrated with that character in the books.
Yeah, he keeps doing stupid things to push the story along.
Mm-hmm.
Precocious.
So,
that's one word for it.
But that's all about the Kinders.
Okay.
The question is Kinder egg? Which one came first?
Well, seeing as it's K-I, this is K-E.
Wow, they're obviously trying to avoid copyright infringement. That's why.
I think that who makes the Kinder egg anyways?
Germans.
Germans.
Kinder.
You must have just call them Cadbury's. At this point.
That sounds vaguely racist. I don't know why. For some reason.
Damn Cadbury's, they're ruining the world.
Damn Cadbury's are ruining the D&D.
Doesn't sit right with me. I don't know why. There's nothing. Okay, let's get away from that.
Them and their egg centers.
That's right.
There's a
They always
toy
got
inside
toys
them. Who do
inside.
they
Yeah,
think they are?
crappy toys
Um,
too. Choking
let's
hazards.
let's go up to
Down or
page
up?
5
Okay.
of the
Up.
PDF. It's in the letters section, and we're going to
Okay.
go to something that says "Sorry, no glow."
I see it.
Very short, very sweet. Just I laughed out loud when I read this. And it says in Mr. Findley's article on the ecology of the will-o-wisp, it gives the reference. When a will-o-wisp is killed, does the light keep emanating from the body? In other words, could you use it? Could you use a dead will-o-wisp as a light source?
Why do you find this
Now,
funny?
It's funny. I get it.
because there would be some psychopath
Out there killing will-o-wisps just to make unlimited torches.
with a
That's it.
lantern.
I'm sure the
Willis
same
lantern.
psychopaths kills lightning bugs for the same reason. So
Um, um, and yes, Kim Mohand says that's obviously not going to
it's
be
magical,
true.
not
Nothing in the
yeah.
nature of the creature allows that to be factual.
Yeah.
So
He does give make a good point to the fact that the will-o-wisp can control its illumination.
Yeah, so
Leads
it's
to
not
believe if
physical.
you're dead,
Yeah.
you do. Yeah.
yeah, but if you let your mind wander even a little bit, there would be a whole host of
It's going to kill a bunch of will-o-wisps and make permanent lighting in my house.
ethical dilemmas.
He was probably going to
afoot.
start a business to sell will-o-wisp light bulbs.
You just like open up a container of them and into the ceiling.
Yep. Permanent light.
Okay, so that was my article because it struck a funny bone with me.
Okay.
I chuckled. Rob, do you want to? What's your second article?
We're going to go page 20. It's called For King
20.
and Country, Alignment System Based on Cause and Effect by Paul Sutty.
I knew you were going to pick this, so I again left this one alone.
Because
honestly, I tapped out on page 3. I enjoyed the first page.
Oh, I know. I may have perused after a while. It's a very long article, but once again, another way to fix alignment. It's still an issue, even after all these years. What is it? 10 years.
I know.
So he goes on to say alignment's good and evil. It was originally good and evil because good characters have an excuse to kill and rob, loot corpses of monsters and things. Otherwise, you have to add a moral system, I guess. And then gets all philosophical. Is that a word?
Philosophical.
That's the word. About how good and evil are just concepts, man. They're just concepts, man.
They're just concept, man.
Then he says alignment fell apart and became burdensome when you had to add values and granularity to it. When moment you said there was something called chaotic evil or neutral good, it became an issue. And he says in the real world, no one is really aligned, especially when viewed from other cultures and backgrounds. But everybody's alignment's all different, right? Like you could be good for one thing and bad for another.
It's true.
I pirate movies, and yet I still don't murder people in the street. So two different things.
Well, that's weird. I do the opposite.
Yeah, that's right. See? But are we evil or good? Who knows? He says to suggest the rest of the article, that it goes on for a very long time, suggests giving alignments based on how their lieges' goals or their gods, how they wish them to act, in other words, or even society in general, of where you live. So it allows groups of people from the same area at least work together, even if they're not exact same alignment, because then they'd just be, okay, generally in this area, you're this, you feel this way about slavery, you feel this way about, whatever, poisons. But it's interesting, but it's way too long, overthought. It's like a PhD dissertation on alignment instead of like something that'd be actually useful in the game. It is.
I was reading like you guys. I read maybe second page, and I was thinking, God, you're. I don't feel like you're fixing anything. You're just adding another layer of argument.
Well, he just explain. He's trying to explain how in real world how alignments would work, but really, there is no such thing. That's the thing. It's morals. People have morals, or they don't have morals, and it's imbued by your parents or religion.
It's one of those
society.
chapters where you just these are just guidelines. We'll come to them if we need to use them. If not, we'll just pretend.
Well, that's
The article boiled down to is what it is from a certain point of view that makes someone think they are good or doing the right thing, and you can find some middle ground and work together with other people that have sort of the same, but it's very difficult to pin down each individual alignment. The more you add in the different
yeah,
you start looking too
yeah.
closely. And I think that's been the discussion around alignment for years at this point.
Yeah. And also the way I look at alignment always is, well, it's just a general guideline. Obviously, I like playing paladins. Obviously, they're supposed to be lawful good, but you're also being super prejudiced against other religions or against evil, or like that's
Mm-hmm.
not good things, right? But obviously that's how they perceive it as being good. So I always play it as, how do I perceive myself? Am I perceiving myself as doing good things, like obeying the laws and being good? Then I'm following my alignment, right? I think it's just a guideline to how to RPG. Really, it's was it necessary? Obviously, many other RPGs don't have alignment. We play Call of Cthulhu. There's no alignment in that. It's just actions have consequences. Like if you're going to just start murder people in the streets, the cops are going to go after you. You know, like there's, or if you knock out a princess by mistake.
Not in Chicago.
That's true. Once again, the morals of Chicago are much different than regular societies. But anyways, yeah, it's. I think alignment is silly and it shouldn't be in any game, but it's in D&D. I'm amazed they haven't removed it, frankly. Like even in the new versions, I'm amazed they haven't bothered and just said, never mind.
I haven't
Why?
even really looked at it in the fifth edition. Is it? Is
I
it in
assume
there?
it's still in there. Yeah, I
That's a good
maybe
question.
I just assumed it was in there.
I mean, anyone who played fifth edition, leave it in the
Yeah,
comments.
but yeah, or if you like alignment and you think it is necessary, explain yourself.
I'm quite sure it still is in
Oh, I am
fifth
sure too. I think
edition,
it's
but
considered like a thing, but
at the time, like as a just a role playing thing or shorthand to give people, what your deal is, it still works. But as of when this magazine was, you would be punished. You lose levels for acting in a
yeah,
way
that kind
that.
of stuff.
So, if they got away from the I don't, the penalties and stuff and just used it in a more helpful way,
Yeah.
I
Well,
could still
especially if
see.
you're imagine playing an evil character and you get penalized for not murdering just people randomly and stuff. If you're playing chaotic evil, it's like, yeah, but I know if I start murdering people, the town guard are going to kill me. Yeah, but that's against your alignment. This
Yep.
guy mouthed off to you. You have to murder him now. It's like, I don't want to murder him. I know there's going to be consequences to my actions, even if I
Yeah,
deep down I want to murder him. Which
Well, I
maybe
mean,
I am evil.
if you want to if you want to go even that far, if you were playing a lawful evil character, you don't necessarily have to murder that person right then, but you would even have to scheme a way to come back
Yeah,
around and get him when he's not
that's fine.
looking.
Like lawful evil is fine because you can always scheme, like you said. But chaotic
Yeah.
evil would just go off the handle and just, okay, I'm gonna chop his head off.
Wah!
Yeah,
A
which
road
doesn't
ranger.
work.
That's a chaotic evil person is a road ranger.
Trying to play that in like Greyhawk where there's guards everywhere, you're not gonna last long. Like that's you'd never last to level 2. So, but anyways, enough about
okay.
alignment.
Enough about alignment.
I'm sure it'll
Who's
never come up
next?
again.
Yeah, that's it. It's done.
It's the last word on
That's
alignment.
burp the corner of that Tupperware. It's sealed forever. Patrick, what's your second?
Let's go to page 31.
Oh, up to
31.
31. Okay.
Let's go down to 31.
Oh, that's better. I knew you'd pick this one.
And charging isn't cheap, babe. Those interest rates are super high nowadays. So this is how to fix rods and staves and wands. This article was pretty cool. It creates a little alternative way of creating and charging rods. Excuse me. The DM guide wasn't. It was just kind of a generic way. So he kind of stretched it out, added some things, and uses a lot of research to aid in the creation. So if you were spending time to do stuff, you can add to it. One of the cool things he did is though once the item is ready and created, then it can be charged, and then that's how you would use these things to charge rods and staves once you used all their magic up. Magic up. But so the first half of the article is just nice, a nice little page couple paragraphs on how to create, and then he lists every rod and wand in the DM's guide, how to charge it. So this thing goes on forever. If you want to read every freaking wand and rod and staff that was in the DM's
Yeah, but
guide.
I have a staff of withering. At least that's what the
So-
girls call it.
Getting a little ribald in here.
It could have been any. Like that was the first one. It could be the wand of enemy detection.
So,
Rod of smiting.
I feel, yeah, it was
I think you can use any of these. Would be
rod of ridicule. Rod of ridicule. That's what I got.
Immovable rod.
Immovable. I got a rod of rod. It's weird.
wand
So, yeah.
of wonder.
Yeah, it's a nice little add-on if you're a DM first edition playing. I mean, I feel like you can add this to any edition, really, though, because it doesn't.
I bet this is added to other editions. I think there is. I sort of remember.
Well, I never played third, so I don't know.
But in the second, there's no ways to charge your wands.
Not like this.
No, maybe not this exact way, but
Yeah.
There you go.
It'd be something you could use to, move the story along. Or,
If you're really,
Yeah,
especially if
or
you're wizard
if
based.
If you're a magic user, this is a good way of saving the cash, baby. I got to go home and charge my wand, just like a Tesla.
Yeah, charge
How
my
many miles do you
wand.
get for that? Is it worse in the winter? Like, it's weird.
Yeah. So
Don't
yeah,
be guilty.
I only get 22 magic missiles in my wand. It's supposed to 25 in the summer.
Makes sense. That'd be a funny article. See, you should be writing articles for.
When Dragon Magazine comes back, we got taking notes. We have tons of material.
April edition. We
could
will
actually
be
write
right
it
on
up.
top of that.
Yeah, the April edition would be just us. They should just tell us. You guys write the April editions from now on.
We'd have to actually try to make it funny for once. It'll be a day. One day it'll be April edition. I'll be like, wow, that was actually funny. But not this day.
The last April one was pretty good.
No, it
There was
wasn't.
some-
It was
there was
terrible.
some
That was the
bell
backwards
laughs.
one.
That was
There was
the
some
one part.
guffaws.
No, Jack, you're the only person who liked that one. So that was your first issue, though.
No, that was. Anywho,
What do you got there, Mr. Fike?
well, I may have broke the rules. I
No
chose-
rules now. You're on a new contract. There's no
One-
rules now.
Yeah, didn't you read the small print?
I am in charge, so there's more rules than ever. Page 44 of the PDF, please.
Is this an ad?
This is a small entry in a otherwise
the creature catalog.
Yeah, creature catalog too.
creature catalog.
I
there
picked this thing
are-
too in this article.
This exact same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
The automaton.
Yeah, it made me laugh. Just like Jeff got a laugh out of that article, this thing made me laugh.
The picture is especially funny.
Yeah, that's what made me. I was just looking through all the modules. I went, "Oh, that thing's ridiculous."
And there's a lot of monsters. I didn't count them. I don't know how many, but this, for being only $3, this magazine was chock-a-block
Oh,
full of.
Yeah, this creature catalog was
entries.
pretty thick.
For once,
but I decided
it was worth it.
Yeah. I think we're for $3, and we've already had a couple of university level, theses, and we've got, other stuff that usually comes in the magazines. But we have the creature catalog, which is this is the third one.
Yep.
Yeah. Number
And
Trey.
This is there's a lot in there, but I wanted to highlight this guy because he looks amazing, and I would love to have a little robot following me around.
With a teapot head and
I was
world
walk on
scene.
brooms.
a soapbox abdomen or a chest.
Yep, and some sort of barrel thorax.
You like the
but
wide
also-
hips, don't you, Jack?
I do. Yeah, shaped like a pear.
I
on
will
there.
point out that it's also armed.
It
Yeah,
does
well,
have a
Those are ropes, not arms, but yes.
It's also roped.
yes, but also it's like a golem.
Can you train it
that
to do
you
things?
can-
Because I wanted to do I'm a little teapot.
It's basically a little butler, a little construct butler. So
You just like Star Wars so much that you want a little C-3PO following you around.
Mm, yes, better than an R2D2. I
Right.
don't.
You
I don't
can't like
care
you can't
for
understand
R2D2.
him. He beeps a lot.
Yeah, there's some really cool creatures in this thing though, like the ghoul Mori.
That's
Oh,
under
there's.
G.
We
Yeah,
could spend the rest of the episode just scrolling through and looking
yeah,
there's a lot here.
yeah. I picked three to just point out: ghoul Mori, the automaton, and the Manamara.
Man O'Mara.
With the Manamara, which is a Manticore Chimera offspring.
Oh, sassy. Um, yeah, and a lot of them I don't remember ever making it into like compendium, the creature compendium or monster manuals or anything.
No.
I've never seen them since.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I wonder if remember there was so many of those when the monster manual was the monster compendium when it
Monsters
had
Compendium.
when there's so many of those like though you could buy those folder or the what are they called
Three ring
leafs
binders?
Little inserts,
the
yeah.
inserts.
Because
There's
the
probably
monster manual become a 3 ring binder, and you just
yeah
add because each different world at this point, the second edition is Monstrous Manual. But at that point, then there are so many worlds, including Dragonlands, Forgotten
oh yeah there's
Realms,
so many
Spelljammer, Ravenloft, Scattered
Oriental
something.
Adventures yeah
I
all
had
those.
Greyhawk. I had
Greyhawk's in there. There's the
I'm
Outer
pretty sure
Planes.
yeah I don't even remember what I had. I'm pretty sure
I have a bunch.
I had Oriental Adventures and at least Monster
I'd
Compendium
have to go to the
1.
collector shelf and look through all the different
You don't have them in
ones
the
I have.
binder? You have them all separate?
I have them all separate and packed up. Yeah,
No.
I have the binders, but I don't know. I don't know a way to put the binders in a place where
I
they can't get ruined.
all I know is you put them in those binders, the sheets would just rip right out. Their
Oh
own
yeah, you have
weight
to
would
get.
pull them out.
You'd have to.
That
You
was
had to
terrible.
put those little ring
Yeah, yeah.
binders on them.
They were
Yep.
because their paper was so thin, it did not last. So
the little adhesive things on each one.
yeah,
Yeah.
kids, this is
Yeah.
what happens when you don't have PDFs. You have to deal with this crap.
All right.
Okay. Well, then that would be my article. So that means we go on to ads.
No,
and I
there's
think
more
if we're gonna
articles.
keep on the
There's
what?
more articles.
How's that possible?
Because there's a lot in this magazine. Jack, we
There's
got to
a
do this one
ton.
because the rest of them are terrible. So let's go.
There's a lot.
No.
I'm going to page
Well,
39.
While you're the boss, there is a caveat.
39.
You can get
Article.
outvoted by the other two people.
Yes.
This is the latest superhero RPG done cleverly but definitely complex. Reviewed by Jeff Grubb. It's DC Superheroes. Jeff Grubb, as the editor note at the right beginning says, is the guy who invented Marvel superheroes. So it's interesting that he's reviewing the DC Superheroes game.
Does he say good things about it? I didn't read it.
Yes, he says good, but it's complex and expensive. But I think expensive is relative since pretty soon TSR stuff's going up too. So
I wish you could quantify it. Is it more complex than Heroes
no,
or Champions?
he says it's equal to Champions. Yeah, not as bad as
Oof.
Villains and Vigilantes, which I guess is really complex, but is about equal.
My
to
friend bought
Champions.
Villains and Vigilantes, and we never played it.
I guess
Only
it's
because I wouldn't wonder if it went over his head.
it was the first one, I guess, and it was real crunchy. And then Champions came, which was a little less crunchy, and then Marvel Superheroes set the bar. But DC Superheroes, I guess, we'll get to another article, so I won't even ruin it. But he says making characters takes hours, which is riffs like of pain in the butt. But because it's once again, like you said with Champions, it's a point system. So yeah, I don't think it's bad as half points and stuff. But he says overall he likes it, but it's not for beginners at all. Like it's not a beginner superhero game. As Marvel Superheroes obviously was, because I think it might have been my first RPG. So there you go. Yeah. So Jeff Grubb, he was nice. Obviously they're all friends, and he knows the guys that
they're all
make it.
friends up front.
And
It's gang warfare.
he is a fan of the superheroes, obviously. So like, I don't imagine someone could, be a fan of superheroes and not at least have their interest piqued looking at another system and wanting to
Especially
play
if you're a
Nightwing.
DC fan, if you're a big DC fan, because he does say there's a lot of characters.
Oh yeah,
right off the bat that you could play.
Yeah.
But I love the hefty price tag is $17, which please. which I think the Marvel superheroes was $15. So it's I think $2 more is not a hefty price tag. I don't understand why
No,
that was a weird thing to say. I probably doesn't realize that Marvel superheroes is $15 now. He probably is like, back when my day it was cheap.
it is 85, man. Gas is still under $1 at this point.
Inflation's coming. Don't worry. So that was my quick little article, my little review of Marvel superheroes or DC superheroes.
Nice.
Okay, well, Pat, do you have a rule breaking?
I do. I have
taking
two.
advantage of my
I have another
good
one too.
graces,
I have another one
my
too.
time, and
I
my...
have two. I really one in kind of just a passing.
Me too.
Oh, gee.
So let's go to page 73.
Ares is still around.
Yep. This is Starship and Star Soldier. This is a little inquisitive article talking about mini war games and if people are interested in such things.
In sci-fi, especially.
Yeah, in sci-fi. So he talks about, do people like this? If you do like it, blah, 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 send a note in. And then he goes ahead and lists all the land and space games that were played and their publishers that were held at Gen Con 17 the year before.
Yeah, and all the different miniature lines. And
yeah, there was like Combat 3000. Some of these I didn't even heard of, like Final Frontier or Galactic Grenadier.
Well, these are all miniatures. Those are all miniatures that you can buy, I think.
No, these are the games that were played.
Rob Parther makes games?
They did.
Oh, did they?
I guess, apparently. And then there's a Space Marines game here. But it's not by GW or Citadel. It was by Fantasy Games Unlimited.
The very first one's by Combat 3000s by Richard Hollowell and Rick Priestley. So that's those are the GW guys. So
yep. So there's a bunch of stuff here like Strike Team Alpha.
Yeah,
there's a lot of games I didn't hear of. I wonder what happened to these things.
A lot of just
yeah, but I guess this is the coming. Mini war games is starting to rear its ugly head.
Yeah, I think
is it an ugly head? Because I enjoy a good mini war game.
Yeah, obviously, but Battle System I think really woke up everybody else being like, oh, TSR's doing it.
Yes.
You know, like all these other games are all old games, but I think real different bigger companies might be making.
I think your shout out might be the same shout out as my shout out. So,
well, Jack, do you have another article?
He doesn't.
No, why would I? No.
Why would you read a magazine?
At home are looking at their watches now, going, "Come on, guys."
My page. It's going to be on page 83. Is
mine's 82, which is
same thing, but 83 is the actual picture. It's the Out of the Sun by James M. Ward and Roger Rapp. It's talking about Asian, like Japanese in Gamma World, but
it's man machines in Gamma World.
Yeah, these are giant stompy robots in Gamma World. To shout out to Mobile Arm Radio or other podcasts.
Exactly, that's what I wrote in my notes.
But obviously, these were stolen right from Macross or Robotech because the designs are very similar. Actually, the cover of Ares this month, I looked at it and I was like, is that a BattleTech picture?
I thought, I looked at that too and I was like, huh.
But it's very, it even says VT on their shins, like Veritex. But they're very Macross / Robotech. Somebody got into Robotech at this point and was like, I'm going to make big stompy robots for Gamma World. But that's my little quick shout out. I think Pat, you have anything else to say about it?
No, it was the same one as mine.
Yeah. So there you go, Jack. It was nice and quick. How was that for you?
Yeah. Okay.
I do have 5 ads, so
there's no way.
I have 3. I think we're all going to overlap with these.
Quite a few are going to be overlap. He broke his brain.
It's too bad you're locked in for another 300 more episodes.
300 more episodes. 300 more episodes.
Did you not? You did not read that contract, did you?
I did.
Did the Go-Gurt blind your eyes? Is that what happened?
My lawyers.
I did squirt it right in his eyes.
Strawberry Go-Gurt. You got drunk on Strawberry Go-Gurt and you just signed that thing, didn't you?
No, your lawyers who are in our pockets.
On episode 200, I got my parachute. I'm going to eject like a pilot from a F-35 Lightning. It's going to be
You're going to crash and burn in the forest.
Litigation is going to be horrible, DB Cooper.
No, he'll be like, just tied to the chair because he'll realize that it's an ironclad contract. Page, Jack,
Okay,
do you have a
so
page for your ad?
I'm going to go to page 9.
Yeah, that's one of mine. So there it goes.
That's not one of mine.
Adult systems. Now we've already discussed. We've seen the cover. We've seen the. We basically knew it was a chit
We
situation.
talked about the article. As a matter of fact,
But-
I reviewed it.
Yes.
Up top we have modules.
Yeah, either modules that are you can use battle systems in, or actual ones made for battle systems. So
Yes.
that's interesting.
So it's a kind of a. They're attempting a blend of. Hey, remember when there was this combat in this module? We can use battle systems for that, but also, hey, we're making a module that is for basically for battle systems. Bloodstone Pass. Now, I remember playing something that you had to have armies for early on. And I didn't think it was battle systems, but
No,
I'm
I don't
starting
think it
to
was.
think.
I know. I remember someone brought in. Jack and I were in a gaming club in high school, and I remember someone brought in battle systems because I remember looking at the box set and I remember thinking, "Oh, that's pretty nice." But then, yeah, it's just all chits. But we never did chits. It was definitely, and that game fell apart so quickly. I don't even think you could call it a system. So,
Because I remember doing one of the. It was a module that had 2 floating mountains, and there was cables going across, and I enjoyed that. And then Rob's right. One of our buddies' brothers said, "I'm going to run a mask," and I said, "Oh, good. I have this thing that's already tried and true." And it was a complete debacle.
Yeah.
But anyways, yes. So Battle System has modules as well as the ability to kind of make a smush together a homunculus of a regular module that
yeah, it
happens to
must
work
be
with.
things. Yeah, it must be like a war breaks out in the module. Either if you don't have battle systems, this is how you play it. If you do have battle systems, this is how you play it.
Just what you play on the table.
Yeah. So very interesting.
Interesting.
Interesting. So Rob, what about you? What's your ad?
My first one is going to be on page 61.
No, that's another one of mine. I'm down to one.
It's the
Thank God.
Oriental Adventures cover. Finally, it's
the teaser.
It's a black and white version, but it's the samurai on the what are those, the Foo Dog? I think it is. He's going to be slashing down at a ninja.
The Food Dog's Chinese. There's something different about the.
Well, Oriental
I guess
Adventures.
if we're just going to paint the broad stroke of Oriental, why not?
If
Why
you
not
read
put
Oriental Adventures,
why not put a Japanese guy on top of a Chinese dog?
Yeah, exactly.
They do-
It isn't the most culturally sensitive book in the world.
Well, it's not that it was culturally insensitive. It wasn't a documentary. They took all the flavors from all the.
Yeah, it's not.
there
It's
was
not.
weapons
Doesn't
from
place
different
in
eras.
Tokyo or in Japan. It
No,
takes
no,
place
yeah,
in
yeah,
Korea
100%.
or whatever. And yeah, it's a different
There was-
continent in the. Is it Forgotten Realms or is it? I think it might be Forgotten Realms actually.
I think it was just generic.
No,
Because
I think
could've-
technically it was in something, but yeah,
if anything, it was probably Greyhawk then.
I don't remember. But anyways, it's yeah, Oriental Adventures. I really enjoyed the new classes, and it's gonna be fun to talk about it in the future
Yes,
because everybody likes samurai and everybody likes ninjas.
And there
Yes.
was
There's monks and other things there. Yeah,
I like that. I like a
Mhm.
lot of Crouching Dragons and Hidden Tigers.
racist. But no, that's it's true because there was like martial arts and stuff that weren't Japanese martial arts in it for sure. Anyways,
Yeah, it was different times, different areas, different, but everything under the one blanket.
They left
that
the Muay Thai
kinda-
boxer out, so I didn't see any. Oh Christ! What was that guy from Street Fighter called?
which one? Oh,
It was the Muay Thai
Sagat.
fighter.
Sagat.
Yeah,
I think Sagat.
Liu
was the one.
Kang.
Yeah. So that's my ad. Oriental Adventures tease. It's a tease of the
Okay.
cover. Wait till we get the full color cover. It's beautiful.
It is a really nice cover. Okay, Pat, what's your last one?
let's go to page 40.
40.
Oh.
And we are gonna go. No, it's not Dragonbone. Even
Oh,
though
okay.
even though there is a third color now, and now it comes in blood.
Ooh.
Oh, red.
No,
Yeah.
blood.
I am surprised though. Here we are still looking at the Dragonbone, so that thing must have been really awesome. Though I can't find one for the life of me.
If anybody knows where Pat can buy a Dragon Bone for between $9 and $98,
99, yeah, $99.
please
You let me know.
comments below.
But my ad is below Dragon Bone to Dragon Skins.
Is it the same company?
Oh.
No,
But they don't have a shipping address or anything for Dragon Bone. But Dragon
maybe
Skin
it
does.
is.
Might be the same company.
it might be.
Is
Well,
it?
Dragon Bone is
Oh, it's book
Dragon
covers.
Bone. Yeah, Dragon Bone is now making book covers for your high school books.
Is that pretty much what it is?
Yeah,
That'd be pretty embarrassing.
in a sense. I mean, I was, I looked at that and I was thinking, huh, would I have bought those things, or would I would just continue to use the brown paper bag that my mom made me use to cover my books?
I've seen these before, and the unicorn one I remember seeing, the chaos one I remember
The
seeing.
magic user, I think I've seen before.
Like in real life, I was always under the impression that they were to protect your manuals, your
Yeah.
role playing game manuals. I would
You're probably
never
right.
have thought
I would have
that-
used them. I would have used them for my school books.
No, I never would have even thought to do that.
I think the
Because
symbol of
we
chaos
had to
at
cover our
school.
books because of the snow
What?
and the wetness.
Didn't you have
Because
book bags?
We did, but sometimes you just walked home with one book in your arm, instead of carrying a whole book bag. So,
Do you walk
You
up the
got in
hill
trouble-
both ways?
listen, when you have a lot of sleet and you're walking in the street,
We're
I mean,
Canadian.
yeah, but you don't have the same kind of traffic we got, and that snow turns fucking black. And then you drop your book in a slush, and then you know what kind of trouble you get in when you bring that book to school the next year, or when you turn that thing in.
Yeah,
So,
I've never had this issue.
well, you didn't you didn't grow up inner city. You grew suburbs, so you just chop you
We
just
never
chop,
dropped
you just
their
chop
books.
down you just chop down another stalk of corn and make a new book out of it.
yeah. We would have strived for suburbs. Rural is the best
Yes.
descriptor.
It's a good thing you even had one school, public school, because if the one lady who was your teacher died, then you had no more classes.
That was
pretty much.
3 classes she was teaching all at once. Yeah,
So
good old Mrs. Ingalls.
yeah, I went there with the school books because
Pa?
we did a lot of drawing of fantasy and metal bands on our brown, because this is before plastic. So it was all brown paper bags on the outside of your books.
That was a thing you used to do. They used to.
I'm sending Rob a link on how to cover his books in a brown paper bag. You
What-
guys still have
what-
paper bags?
They
you
also
came
had
with?
onions on their belts because it was the thing you did at the time.
Once you knew someone who could fold that up the way you had to do it, then it was pretty dope to be able to draw your own covers. But yeah.
We just drew in the
Yeah.
books. I don't
I
understand.
well, I drew on my desk, and I do
Yeah, it definitely
I
drew
did
on
a
my
lot of
desk.
I did a lot of Judas Priest. I drew the eagle on my Screaming for
Oh.
Vengeance eagle on my books.
Well, this
So-
is a weird tangent. Okay.
This is 1985, man. We're all in high school. This is what we did in high school.
I was not in high school.
D&D and
I was
No,
in-
I was in elementary school. I
Oh my
remember
god! All right, I forgot.
I was 10. So
While this was coming out, I was first starting to play
I'm
D&D.
a sophomore in high school already, and I played D&D for a long time.
So, and I remember the Satanic Panic. It was running rampant at this point.
even
When
here?
I just stepped in. Oh yeah,
Really?
oh yeah. School administrators and
And all the Orthodox in your area,
I never had that issue.
the Dutch going crazy.
We were much more. Yeah, that's the problem. Jack was in. I was not in the same grade school as Jack, so God knows what he was going through.
no, it's just bureaucrats at schools. I don't hold too many people who work at schools in high regard for the
Is
most
it
part.
Orthodox or
In general.
Reformed? Maybe it was. Is it Dutch Reformed or Dutch? It's just Reformed.
Doesn't matter. Anyways, let's go to the next ad, Jack. Come on, get us out of here.
Okay, yes. So that is episode
No,
101.
I have more ads
How is that possible? We've
because
been
there's tons
talking-
of more ads. Page 11.
Oh, geez.
Lankmar, people. You never talked about Lankmar.
I skipped over Langmore because
It's going to be an epic sojourn.
It is because it's you're the person. But yeah, for the world of Fafnir and Grey Mouser, you can play it in D&D now.
I like the books, but I didn't feel like it was. I didn't like the idea of it as a campaign setting.
Well, it is. So suck it up. The other one is
Never read the
page.
books.
No,
Have
I never.
no.
I think I did read some books, but page 22 is the master set. It's finally out, so it's the
Hey, we did
penultimate.
the master. We did the
No,
master
no,
set
we
already.
did companion set. Now it's master set. There's one more, and I'll mention it when that comes out too. So this is the
Yeah,
black
it says
box.
penultimate.
Yeah, one more after this. Also, the big thing, I'm amazed Jack didn't talk about this one, is on page 33, because I'm doing all the double issues. They're double letters. This is a Dracorum. It's a 7-inch tall pewter. I don't know how many pieces. I think it says how many pieces it is. It's like a lot of pieces. It must weigh a freaking ton.
This was almost my article because I do follow the rules. This was 50-50 with the Ralpartha awful looking dragon that, if you read the blurb, says will only increase in value year after year.
The Kung Fu Dragon. I wonder what happened to him.
This guy's huge. Anyways, this is the is this is Ralpartha. Yeah. So
Yeah, this is about the. Yeah, I can't tell if that's a knight.
yeah, it's a knight on a horse.
Yeah,
at
knight
his
on a
feet.
horse.
7 inches tall and I think over 12 inches long.
I
Crazy.
think it's got to weigh a ton. You could probably kill a small child with that thing.
Yeah, it's good. That's what my whole thing was. It must weigh a ton. And lastly, my last article is on page 80, or my last ad.
All I know is I'd hate to try to glue those wings on because those things would just fall off in a heartbeat.
Like normal dragon, the wings fell off. Page 87, it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles RPG from Palladium. This is
Yep, I passed on this because it was Palladium.
Yep, it's TMNT in the
And
I
other
didn't know it was
strangeness.
yeah, I didn't know it was this early because I think Turtles only just started when this is coming out, so they jumped on the bandwagon early with this one. So
Yeah, they did
it's
because
interesting.
they got the who did Turtles originally?
Eastman and Laird.
Who was the publisher?
Oh, Eclipse maybe,
Yeah, I think it was Eclipse.
someone like that.
But they're actually using
Mirage?
that art. Yeah, they're using that art from
Yeah,
that
that's
comic.
Eastman and Laird. Well, there was no other art. This is it. There's no cartoon. There's no Archie comic. This is way before 90s.
There's no video game.
Yeah, 90s is when it all blew up like hell. This is
There's no Vanilla Ice.
yeah,
They haven't
no
met
movies.
Batman.
Yeah.
Go Ninja, go
No.
Ninja, go
So this
Ninja,
is
go.
early style before they even had different colored headbands. They all just had red headbands technically. So there you go.
Yeah.
Turtles.
When they murdered.
Well, they kill. I think Splinter dies in like the second issue, or not Splinter. Shredder.
Shredder.
Yeah. He was like nobody, and then later on they're like, "Oh, we better bring him back." That's my last ad, Jack. You can take us back under control.
Sorry, too late. I think we just have to. I think we just.
I
have
can
to
find
leave
another
now.
ad to talk about if you'd like.
Oh, okay. Then let's end this episode of the Dragon's Tome. We've thoroughly gone through the magazine. Hopefully,
This is like an hour
you
episode.
stuck around.
Here. This is crazy.
You
Jack, why'd you let us go this long?
You are welcome to join us next week when we do 102 in this long, strange trip it is to go through every Dragon magazine possible. So
we're not even to where I started, so there we go.
I'm Jack.
And I'm Chopper.
I'm Rob.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Kinder eggs are people.